Here's more wrestling news for July 24th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include 5 reasons why Roman Reigns is facing Finn Balor instead of John Cena next, Tony Khan keeping a tight lid on new AEW signings, WWE has interest in bringing back Braun Strowman, and more. We're starting off with SummerSlam, where it's expected that John Cena and Universal Champion Roman Reigns will headline on August 21st. On last night's SmackDown, Cena opened the show, cutting the same promo he made on Raw against Roman Reigns and reaffirmed his challenge to the Tribal Chief. Instead of Reigns, Cena was confronted by Paul Heyman, who mocked John, who had to wait until the main event to go face-to-face with the Universal Champion. Reigns ridiculed how little Cena has changed, using the same music, entrance, appearance, and promos, and compared it to a certain bedroom position that we don't want to risk being demonetized for mentioning. The line in question showed how far Reigns has evolved with his delivery, as he once again proved why he's the top heel in WWE. This won't be a one-sided promo battle, but we'll have to wait for their inevitable conclusion, as Reigns rejected Cena's challenge and both were interrupted by Finn Balor. Reigns laughed at Balor's challenge but later accepted it, and we anticipate that Reigns vs. Balor will take place next week. But why is Balor right back in the Universal title mix just 1 week after his SmackDown return? Well, here's a few ideas. The history between Reigns and Balor. Cena and Reigns may have a history, but so do Reigns and Balor, and their history is specifically over the Universal title. In 2016, Balor was called up in that year's brand extension as a first-round pick for Raw, and was arguably the most highly anticipated main roster call-up in history. On his first night on Raw, Balor didn't disappoint, as he won a fatal 4-way and defeated Reigns, clean no less, to earn a shot at becoming the first Universal Champion. Sure, this loss for the big dog came during a punishment phase for him, as he was in the doghouse for violating WWE's wellness policy, but having Balor beat him was a huge feather in the Irishman's cap. The following year, Reigns would get his win back over Balor, and given their size difference, the pair have excellent chemistry in the ring. Perhaps their upcoming match will see Reigns put Balor over once more, and merely sharing the ring with the Tribal Chief is a victory in itself for Finn so soon after his main roster return. WWE is testing the waters with Finn and Reigns. It's no secret that Balor's last main roster tenure was disappointing, as after becoming Universal Champion, an injury that forced him to vacate the gold derailed Finn's career. Thankfully, his return to NXT has revitalized the Prince, and if things go well against Reigns, we anticipate that Balor will be the top-tier babyface on a main roster brand he was always meant to be. We can't see any point for Balor being called up again if WWE doesn't have big plans for the two-time former NXT champion, and the match with Reigns could be a test for WWE to see if Balor is ready to be a megastar again. With that said, we can't see Balor being the man to topple the head of the table, but in wrestling, it's always possible to look good in defeat. Balor simply wasn't used correctly between 2017 and 2019, and the upcoming match will give WWE a chance to see where Finn stands as a potential main eventer on the main roster, and we're hoping he passes this test. To make Reigns look great ahead of the Cena match. Reigns has already declined John Cena's SummerSlam challenge, but it's plain as day that this match will happen on August 21st. What better way to make Reigns look ready for Cena than putting him in the ring with Balor? And we don't mean Finn will be a sacrificial lamb, but that he knows how to make anyone look good. WWE doesn't even need to make Reigns look good, as he does that effortlessly on a weekly basis, but a match with the talented Irishman can only make him look even better. Whether Finn loses clean or thanks to the Usos, it'll be interesting to watch, and we expect excellent work from both men. The Balor-Reigns match will be part of Reigns' near year-long reign as champion, and with Cena and SummerSlam looming and WWE's focus on SummerSlam being bigger than WrestleMania 37, it seems that Balor is the right guy in the right place, but at the wrong time. To swerve fans with an unexpected Reigns match. Since becoming Universal Champion, Roman Reigns has competed far less than fans have been used to, and it's even rarer to see the Tribal Chief put the gold on the line. It's even more rare than that for the title to be defended on SmackDown, but it has happened before, most notably with Reigns defeating Daniel Bryan in the April 30th title versus career match, which saw Bryan banished from WWE. The announcement last night did come as a surprise to fans who expected that Finn would be Reigns' opponent a few months from now, presumably after a slow build-up for the Prince back to the main event. Instead, WWE has swerved fans by booking the match so quickly after Balor's return, but we expect the result to be the same, a victory for the Tribal Chief. There's pros and cons to this, as the biggest pro is that fans will see a fantastic match, but the con is that Balor will be forced to take a loss just 2 weeks into his main roster return. As we've said, wrestlers can look great in defeat. We're looking at you, King of the Ring 1998 Mick Foley, and we'll have to see if Balor can save face when he inevitably falls to Reigns. Because WWE's focus is SmackDown, not Raw. Roman Reigns on SmackDown has been one of WWE's best decisions, as he's been the centerpiece of an extremely important show and an extremely important run at an extremely important time. SmackDown has been superior to Raw in both ratings and quality for over half a year now, meaning it's hard to see Reigns leaving the blue brand anytime soon. The reason for this is simple: money, as the $1 billion 5-year deal with Fox was reportedly triple what WWE were getting from their previous deal between SmackDown and the USA Network. Since 2019, WWE has clearly prioritized SmackDown as their new A show, and Reigns vs. Balor will be another way to boost the ratings. SmackDown is considered the WWE's better main roster brand, where the biggest and best matches on free TV happen, and that'll be proven yet again when Balor and Reigns lock horns. Because Balor is going to defeat Roman Reigns. This is the most unlikely reason on this list, but it's possible that Balor will face Reigns so soon because he will become the next Universal Champion. If that happens, then we might be seeing a massive triple threat at SummerSlam between Reigns, Cena, and Balor. After all, WWE has already announced this as the Summer of Cena, meaning there's no way WWE would not have the 16-time WWE World Champion headline the August pay-per-view. Cena is always a draw wherever he goes, and if you've seen the fan-recorded footage from SmackDown, you'll have seen Pat McAfee and Michael Cole losing their cool just at Cena's entrance. Though a triple threat may be in the works, there could be some serious backlash over this, as fans wouldn't want yet another hotly anticipated singles match to become a triple threat, like what happened at WrestleMania 37 with Edge, Roman Reigns, and the addition of Daniel Bryan. Moreover, would it be a good idea to have Reigns' historic reign end on SmackDown? We think such a run deserves a much better ending. But what do you think? Would you like to see a triple threat match or Cena vs. Reigns in a singles bout at SummerSlam? Sound off in the comments. AEW news now, as the company is bringing in Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and this has been reported by countless sites, but Tony Khan isn't admitting to anything. During Keeping It 100, Conan said that he asked Khan specifically about Bryan's debut for the company and was told, "You know I can't tell you that." In the past, AEW have posted signs backstage reading, "Spoilers cost jobs, don't do it." But the signing of Bryan and Punk has been impossible for the company to keep secret. Tony Khan and his AEW crew probably aren't happy that everyone already knows about the two huge debuts, but probably aren't complaining about the attention they're getting. Even though everyone knows, AEW isn't going to reveal anything until Punk and Bryan are on screen, despite the fans who are itching to have things made officially official by the company. And we're ending with Braun Strowman, who was released earlier this year in the name of budget cuts, as he was costing WWE $1.2 million a year. A lot has changed since Braun was let go, including the return of live fans, and those crowds may soon see him again. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there's now interest in bringing Strowman back, especially with AEW making big moves by signing the likes of Bryan and CM Punk. It's even possible that Strowman is next on AEW's signing list, as Mark Henry recently claimed that he would pull for the former Universal Champion to be signed, the same way Henry helped Braun get signed by WWE. It's hard to say how serious WWE are taking the possibility that Braun may join AEW, as Tony Khan's promotion traditionally prefers smaller, faster talent. But if Strowman does return to WWE, we expect he'll demand a no-cut clause in his next contract. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.